right, kids, it's that time. Oh, fuck.
There you go.
Stuttering. Take two. Take two. All right, kids, it's that time. Gather around the radio, crisscross applesauce, and listen to Scene Magazine's greatest podcast ever, Mondays with MAZUR, Tuesdays with Tony. It's Monday, August 16th. How are you, Tony?
I'm well. I'm a little tired from a whole weekend of constant drinking. That's all I did all weekend. Basically from, I would say since Saturday around 3 p.m. all the way up until 10:30 p.m. last night, which was Monday. So yeah, it was a good, 50 hours of drinking with a little bit of sleep thrown in between. But I'm back and we're doing Tuesdays with Tony here.
It's a brilliant concept, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I can't lose. If Tony's out boozing, we'll just move it to Tuesday. It's perfect.
Boozing with the boys.
Cruising and boozing over in Detroit.
In the D. It was not cold in the D this time. But yeah, went to go see Becky's favorite band, Red Hot Chili Peppers. And
did you see Judy from Patreon?
I did not. But I was messaging with her and she was telling me about how and I'm going to do this on my podcast. So if anyone wants to check it out, patreon.com/Tony MAZUR. I'm going to do my usual newsworthy stuff, but I am going to talk about how places like Detroit and Cleveland couldn't be shitholes forever. So like downtown Detroit actually doesn't look too bad right now, but all things considered, it still is, it has its share of problems and everything. But Detroit, from when I used to go there as a kid, my dad would have softball tournaments off 8 Mile Road. And it was a shithole back in the day. So now it's they decided to put banners up to cover up any parts of the shithole in Detroit. So
thanks, Dan Gilbert.
Absolutely. He's really revitalizing that town. Not Cleveland, but Detroit, he is.
Before we go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to Gretchen on Patreon. When I got doxxed, my address is out there, my phone number, my old phone number. But so people they'll mail me things like gift cards. And I mean, it's nice. It's better than anthrax. And Gretchen mailed me a replica of the first captain's hat I had when I moved here.
Okay.
So I got it in the mail and I was really excited to have the very first captain's hat back so I can steer the ship properly like Greg Opie Hughes.
Before we get into the nitty gritty of what we want to do and completely bury the lead of the podcast, everything. So I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers. You said you saw the set list. You watched some videos. What did you think of the set list that I saw?
I'm not crazy about their picks.
No, neither am I.
Yeah, they did. Go ahead.
A lot of like the second era of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They played 2 old school songs, which was Under the Bridge and Give It Away. And if they didn't play Give It Away, you're probably going to see a riot break out, very much like what you would see on January 6th. But like I guess Around the World, which I hate that song, and Californication, which there was a fuck up with John's guitar, or he didn't have the right guitar, or something happened. And but outside of that, everything else was fairly new, like slower new. They played Universally Speaking. They played
I'm not crazy about
Don't
that song.
Forget Me, which
I like
were
that song.
Okay. I mean, fine. Snow, it was a hit.
I like Dirt. I like Dirt. I like that song.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to Concentrate's pretty good. Nobody would like me.
That was surprising. That's a slow song to play at a. I mean, you're talking about probably 35,000, 30,000 people there, and you're playing Hard to Concentrate. That's not even a B-side. That's a C-side.
I like this new song, The Heavy Wing, where John sings it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good jam. Yeah, it's not that great of a set list.
No.
They do a lot of improv too, right? They're always just jamming out.
Oh yeah, they always do that. And while we say that, I want you to pull up the Rage Against the Machine set list that you went to.
Oh boy, Jesus Christ!
Did you saw him once or twice?
Once. I saw him
Just once,
Thursday,
okay.
And you and I had 2 different concert experiences. I was blown the fuck away. Zach De La Roca sitting on his ass, just owning Madison Square Garden. By the way, the acoustics, unlike Rocket Mortgage Field at Madison Square Garden, are amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're at a stadium, you're not going to get the best sound. Like the Strokes open for Chili Peppers, and it sounded like somebody put a condom over the speakers. It was muffled a little bit. When you're at Madison Square Garden, where half the time people are going there for a concert, goodness gracious.
It was fun watching Florentine get recognized by everybody because everyone's like, "Oh, hey, Joe, hey!" After
That's
the
awesome.
show. And we had a couple drinks, but yeah, it was pretty much a standard show. I took your cue and I realized they didn't play this in the beginning, so I timed it out perfectly. Go grab a beer when the Run to Jewels comes out.
Oh yeah, that's a good pisser song.
Yeah, but they played Fistful of Steel for the first time since 1997. So that was cool. Wait, this wasn't the one I saw. Hold on.
Hold the phone.
Standing by. Yeah. Know Your Enemy was great. Fistful of Steel, first time since 97. That was good. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. Know Your Enemy.
Was it worth it? Was it worth the wait through all the COVID and the restrictions and the mandates and everything? Was it worth it?
They jam out. Here's the thing. I don't know if you know this, but they canceled their whole European tour.
Oh, they did.
This weekend in New York was their last shows until next year. So we might have seen the last of Rage. Because
you may have seen the last if he decides if there's some screw up and they don't want to be a part of it anymore. Yeah.
Well, he tore a tendon from what I understand, and it's going to require surgery. And I guess he's been in pain. And they made an announcement. They can't endure the European festivals and travel. Zach needs to get us, back. And after the show, man, it might have been because they gave each other like 3-minute hugs, and Timmy C was crying, the bass player. So I was like, oh man, this could be the last one.
You could have seen the last show, like, and then they kind of do their own thing, or Tom and the rest of the group starts another band that kind of sucks. Like Prophets of Rage.
They'll get who's the guy in Slash's band, Miles Kennedy, to sing with them.
Yeah, they get Gary Sharon.
That'd be funny.
So I'm at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert at Comerica Park in Detroit, and it's I think Thundercat was the opener. And before we got to go see the Strokes, I get a call from one chad-zumock. And Chad calls me and he updates me. He's like, yeah, because you had a layover in Detroit, right?
I did. I was there. I should have just stuck around.
Well, because you saw a show later.
Yeah.
That's what you told, because you checked in or you said something and it said Romulus on Twitter. And I'm like, well, the only people when they have Romulus as their location, that means they're at the airport, the Detroit airport. And I'm like 5 minutes from you right now. Cause we were at I wasn't smoking. I wasn't doing any edibles, but my friends were, and up in Michigan, all those like abandoned shopping malls, they just put CBD and pot stores are just everywhere. So we were at one of those right off 75. And I'm like, I'm not far away from the airport. So you should just forget going back to just go see the Chili Peppers tonight. And then you call me and you update me on, and I believe you did a podcast on it. So I don't know how much you want to hash or rehash or whatever, but about the Mark Norman bachelor party situation.
Yeah, I've talked about it. I just did a podcast with Tyler in depth. I talked about it in depth about where it started and where it went and how it got to the point it was. And then I did a solo where there was a lot of anger because I was pissed off. So I'll just give you, and I apologize.
Give my minimal audience, the ones who haven't crossed over with your podcast, what exactly happened with this situation?
Well, you're familiar with Bert and I's situation, right? I don't want to rehash why our friendship or lack thereof fell apart. So it's been a few years, and I call Bert out for being a liar, which he is, and that's what it is. But I haven't said anything really about him lately or anything. So Mark Norman's having this big show at the Funny Stop, and not the Funny Stop, the Side Splitters.
Oh, that's where we'll be next week.
I have my Funny Stop logo right here. So I got in, my plane landed at 5. They did 3 shows. Ari was there, Jason Cantor, Chris Allen, all the Tampa comics. And I usually go to Side Splitters on Sundays anyway, just to chill. And No big deal. I didn't think anything of it. Like I wasn't sure if Bert was going to be there or not. I had no clue. There were rumors that he was going to the bachelor party. I didn't know he was going to be at the show.
And we had we talked about this maybe a few weeks ago, and we were trying to give our predictions, and I said that my prediction is Bert will see you. It'll be cold but cordial, like it's not going to be an issue. Like maybe you'll shake hands or fist bump and go like, "Hey, what's up?" And that's it. Because didn't think it was going to be like this.
I will confirm he must be listening to Mondays with MAZUR, because I've only talked about Bert on these podcasts with Tyler and you. So he's listening, man. He's paying attention because he was scared that I was going to be there, and he must have heard how that was going to go down. If he was going to be cordial, and he called the okay. So long story short, I get there, I walk. They're out back smoking cigars, and it's Mark Norman, Joe List, Ari, Jason Cantor, and a bunch of other comics. And Mark Norman goes, "I thought you were in New York." I go, "Hey, I just got back."
Hey, Mark Norman, what's up?
But the way he said it is like, what are you doing here? Like, I just saw a ghost. Like, what? And then Ari's being weird, Joe's being weird, and everyone just kind of like being weird. And I'm like,
oh shit.
Yeah, I was like, I was just New York, saw Rage, did some, spots at Uncle Vinny's, and he's like, "Oh, cool." Then he started being cool and start talking. Then all of a sudden, BT, the owner, he comes out back and he goes like this. And I go, "Is that me or you?" He goes, "I don't know." I was like, "Okay, I'll go check." So we go into BT's office, and he just goes, by the way, Tony, I have no idea what's coming at this point. Because he's just like, "I don't know how to say this. I feel really uncomfortable even talking to you about this." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like scanning through my mind. I go, "What the fuck did I do?" I was like, I go, I was like, "Did I piss somebody?" I go, I don't think I did anything on stage when I was like last there. And then all of a sudden he's just like, "Yeah, we got a phone call from Bert's manager." And I go, "Okay. Yeah, they don't want you at the club. And, I don't want any drama. I just need things to go smoothly. I feel really awkward talking about this." And I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "I'm not here to cause problems." He's like, I know. I don't know your history." I goes, "I don't even know Bert, but if he's not going to do the show if you're here." And it's, and I go, "Yeah, it's good business to have him here. I understand." Crowd, I understand. I'm thinking about the crowd. They're going to be excited to see him. So I was like, "I'm going to leave, dude. I don't want any problems." And I was like, and he's like, "Yeah, dude." And then he threw me a text right after. He's like, "I feel really bad about this, but I hope you understand." I go, "It's cool, man. I get it." So I'm like, "What the fuck, man?" He had me removed from my home club, the club that I hang out at. And it's just like, are you that small and that petty? Did he want to swing his dick around? Like, look what I can do. Like, who gives a fuck if I'm there? I'm in rooms all the time with people I don't like. I just ignore them. I wasn't going to bother him. And then he said that he was concerned for his safety.
Oh, yes.
He thought it because he said I threatened him and his family, which is a complete 100% lie, a lie. And then I was sending text messages to Mike Calta going, "Dude, what the fuck, man? Why would Bert do that to me? I'm a comic. We're not even in the same financial bracket. Like, he's around all his friends. You think something's going to happen?" He's like, "You make him feel uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be around you. Just accept it and move on." I go, "No, I'm not going to accept it, because I would never do that to another comic. I would never have him removed from the venue. That's just such a fucking prima donna ego thing."
Yeah, because I didn't know, was it because, he is threatened and didn't want a confrontation or whatever the case is. But that is a bitch move, man. That's an absolute bitch move.
So you're on my page with that?
Yeah, because I get the whole thing where if BT says, "Hey, we don't want to cause any issues. It's you're talking about a Sunday show." And yeah, Bert is a draw for a lot of people. And now, we kind of have seen how the sausage is made with Bert, but a lot of people haven't.
The audience didn't know he was going to be there. Like, he was just surprised. They just said surprise guest.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So either way, I'm on your side with that, but in that there's no reason for it. There's no reason for, that he couldn't at least been a man to just say like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" Like,
it's all ego.
Like, he could come up to you and say, he could even like approach you or even, say something and say like, "Hey, we have a problem here. Like, what's your fucking problem? We've been talking, this has been going on. You've been lobbing grenades at my side. What's your fucking problem? He could say that, and then you can kind of hash it out. And either way, if you get someplace where you go, hey, okay, look, it's just, we're not going to be friends anymore. We're not going to go out on tour. Let's just, that's it. Let's just quash it right now. Or maybe you do become friends. Maybe everything kind of gets water under the bridge. But either way, there should still be an approach. I mean, the guy's a 50-year-old man. He claims to be this guy who is very gregarious and approachable. Well, if part of being approachable is also dealing with negative reaction too, and if you have another comic where there was a little bit of an issue over time, you should probably try to hash it out instead of having your manager call the club and say, hey, if that chad-zumock is there, then Bert's not doing the show. It's like, that's such a pussy move.
And I don't know, and I can't confirm this, but I came like the start of the second show, so he wasn't there yet, and it was almost like they were waiting to see if I would show up.
Oh, okay.
It was one of those things. So, and I guess Mark Norman, that was the very first thing he asked BT was, is chad-zumock going to be here? So this puts everyone in awkward positions. It puts Mark in awkward position. It puts the owner, and the staff's all talking about it. All the local Tampa comics, my friends were there, texting me like, dude, did Bert really get you thrown out of here? So every time I run into somebody, I got to tell this story. Brian's in this weird position. And then as I'm walking out to my car, I'm getting recognized by the fans coming in like, oh, dude, you're here. You hanging out? And I'm like, nah, I have to leave. I got to go. And I can't tell him Bert doesn't want me here. So the whole thing is a fucking mess. And he just did that all for ego. And it's just his insecurity. And I'm so disappointed. I've never been more disappointed in a human being. There's no coming back from this. Cause like you said, he could easily just say, put his hands out. No hard feelings. Cool. I don't have to hang out with you. Got to be honest with you. I don't like you. I don't like you anymore, but I like to be cordial and we could be in a room together and be comfortable. I mean, for Christ's sake, I'm a comedian. I've toured with this guy. I've ridden in cars. I've known him for years, and this is how he's treating me. And here's the thing: if I had something to give this guy, he would be fucking sucking my dick. Period.
Yeah. Well, and you see people like Ari obviously is in that universe, and Mark Norman is one of the top comic around the country, and he's doing very well and doing so many podcasts and radio shows and everything. And the way, and again, I've mentioned this many times on this podcast, but I just really hated that one podcast that you guys did for your show, for the Sit Down Zumock show, where he just ate the whole time. So you would ask him something and you would say like, hey, Bert, that time that you had that Travel Channel show, Bert the Conqueror, like I'm using an example. It's like, how were you able to get a development deal like that? And all you would hear for 5-6 seconds is chicken wings or whatever he was eating. It was just,
yeah.
Well,
yeah, I was annoyed too, to be honest with you. But
but it was one of those where, like, I'm only doing this. I'm throwing him, like, for him, he's doing you a favor. That's in his mind. Instead of going, look, we're out on tour. Let's do a half-hour podcast. So, whatever. I mean, he does so many podcasts and radio shows, but we all know that he does these shows, especially syndicated, like the Rovers, the Bob and Toms and everything, because he knows that he can get something from them. But if he feels that you're below him and he can't get anything from you, and by the way, this is not just a Bert-centric thing. This is across the board. A lot of comics do this. And that's why I have ultimate respect for someone like Jim Florentine, for Don Jameson, where they will treat openers, hosts, middle acts, whatever, with the same reverence they would of somebody who is a fellow headliner. And unfortunately, Bert is not one of those guys.
No, and I talked to Bobby Kelly on the phone today, had a conversation about it. And, he kind of gave me his perspective. He's like, listen, I'm friends with Bert. But sometimes these guys, they get famous and they just forget things. And he goes, I've lost so many friends to fame that I just don't, that's why I keep my circle tight. And he just told me not to worry about it. And I'm not, but I'm just annoyed because now when I see Mark Norman or Joe, it's going to be this incident. Or when I see these local Tampa comics, they're going to talk about, I don't want to talk about it. He made a situation way more uncomfortable and he swung his dick. And I just don't respect the dude. I'm done.
We've talked about Dave Landau. Dave Landau, you did a number of shows with him in front of a couple of people, and then you guys would get drunk and go to a titty bar. And I've done a number of shows with Dave where there's 6 people in the audience. He's doing the check spot during an amateur night. And now he's on Louder with Crowder. Now he's got like 100,000 Twitter followers right now. He is blowing up, and yet he doesn't forget obviously you have to have some kind of ego, and you have to have some form of, yes, you kind of you have a short memory, but you don't forget the people who helped you, but also who hurt you along the way. But someone like Dave, now that he's achieved this kind of fame, he is not doing that to any other people. He's still bringing his guys on the road.
He's bringing
with
me
him.
in September, like
Derek Richard, yeah, all those guys. And he doesn't forget those people. And that, yes, he's experienced a lot of success, and it's because of his hard work, his longevity and everything. But he's also not one of those guys who's going to, if somebody comes up to him after a show and gives him a homemade, a t-shirt or whatever about some quote that he had on Louder with Crowder, he appreciates that. And it just seems to me that Bert and other comics, they get to a level, they're afraid of losing everything. I mean, that's ultimately what comes down to with Bert, is that the biggest thing is when you said to him, I'll see you on your way back down. That stings. That's probably exactly why, because he doesn't want to come back down. He wants to stay on this high. He's a frequent guest on Rogan. He's on TV shows. He's doing this and this. He doesn't want to go back to playing the small comedy clubs again.
It goes Bert's career, family, friends, like in that order. Like as soon as I said that, and he's like, how dare you as an opener say that to me, a headliner?
Yeah.
And that's how it was a narcissist. I stung him with that. And there's that famous clip online I posted. I took it down because I was such in a shitty mood, but I was to the point where I was going to get Bert's a bitch t-shirts made and sell them after shows. That's how far I was going to go in on this. So he's talking to Stanhope. I don't think he knows I'm on the podcast here. You probably wouldn't have picked up or told the story. And he's telling Doug Stanhope how Jay Moore just bitch slapped him in the face twice. And he took it because he thought that's how Hollywood is. Jay Moore does that to me. I'm fucking nailing I'm on the ground.
Yeah.
I don't do that. So that's why I don't work well in Hollywood. That's, I just don't have that gene in me to just be a pushover.
And Bert's one of those guys that he got to that level. Like, here's the thing is, I was a fan of his. I mean, I saw him at the old Cleveland Improv. You were probably at that show. And I know Joe Howard was on that show too.
He done my radio show that day.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew him, Bert, before that. And
it gets to that point where, I mean, 2 minutes into the show, he takes his shirt off. He's silly. He's this and that. And, was it the greatest comedy show in the world? No, but it was entertaining. I'll say that. And I got a picture with him. I got to find that. It's, of course, him with his shirt off. And I'm wearing ironically, a Red Hot Chili Pepper shirt. And, he was doing Bert the Conqueror, and he was doing some other things, but you could tell he's trying to build a brand at that point. But this is 2010. So I'm like, oh, okay. I see what he's trying to do. The problem is, I remember he did a podcast a few years ago. It was actually a really good podcast with Dane Cook. I think you alerted me to. He said he's got Dane Cook on talking about how Dane was on MySpace and Dane was putting his stuff out on LimeWire and Napster, trying to get people in the early days of being very influential. Here's the thing. Dane Cook had his time and he came back down, and yeah, he can still sell out places, but it's not, as Patrice O'Neill said, it's not Dane Cook Day anymore. The problem with that is Bert Kreischer doesn't want it to be Bert Kreischer Day. He's one of those comics. He's one of those egotists who does not want to have that feeling of coming back down. He wants to stay on this cloud the entire time. He does not want to go back to the times of, I guess I got to wake up and do morning radio for some shit local station. He wants to be at the Joe Rogan level and not come down from that.
Yeah. I guess I got to fuck Jay Moore and Will Smith. I guess allegedly. Anyways, so that's what happened. And I talk about it more on my podcast, Sit Down Zumock with Tyler. I don't want to beat it to death, but it is something that's affecting me, and it's going to affect me. And it's honestly, it's not going to go away. If he continues, is he going to throw me out of every comedy club that I'm at? Like, Like he wants to stop. Okay, I'm at the funny stop next weekend. Just hypothetically, he wants to stop by. Chad can't headline. I mean, you're canceling comics.
Well, that's where it gets to that point of like when Pat Dixon got his gig canceled after the Geno punch, and you go, look, whatever is dealt with, you deal with it. And Pat Dixon dealt with it like a man. He went up to him and punched the shit out of Geno's face.
Right.
and
that's how I operate. Not that I was going to do that to Bert, but although I wouldn't mind if he got fucking knocked out. That'd be kind of some good karma. Go ahead.
I mean, you're talking about somebody. Well, by the way, before I get sidetracked, wasn't Ari the guy who gave Bert some kind of drug where it fucked him up for a little while?
Yeah,
he was not happy with it.
He roofied him, but he's still friends because Ari's friends with Joe, and
exactly.
And he has something to offer him. And again,
But if you did that, or a middle act, I mean, he's pressing charges. He's getting people banned from clubs, everything.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a fucking I'm going to jail. Court case, civil suit, all that. That's how fucked up it is. But the guy, fact of the matter is, he's built for LA. He's a phony. He's a fake. He loves that. And I don't think he's really dealt with somebody who doesn't give a fuck. I don't care about that shit. Yeah. I don't care.
If he starts doing that where he's getting your gigs canceled, that takes it to a horrible level, because when one of the Geno fans got Pat's gigs canceled that one weekend, and all these club owners, as you've seen, they don't want the controversy. They're like, and oh, did you hear what so-and-so, like you already dealt with that when you were in the Bahamas, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know. It was fucked up, man.
And it's when this continues, when this goes on. See, it's almost one thing if fans are doing it because they heard of like some online Reddit petition or something. It's another when you have an actual comic who's going to look to get people canceled. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but it's something to keep in the back of your mind, my mind, everyone who's in comedy's mind, that if you piss off the wrong person, instead of dealing with it like men, they're going to try and take things from you. They're going to take away your money. They're going to take away your gigs, take away certain things with podcasting, get you banned from places. That's a horrible precedent.
And here's the thing. I'm not even listen, I'm not even the same ballpark or not even the same universe of a financial bracket as Bert. If I'm on that level and made that amount of money, there's like, I hear from, I haven't seen him in almost over a decade, Daniel Tosh. I heard he's as famous and as much money as he's made, he's gotten nicer and cooler. That's how I would be, and more secure in my own skin. Like you said, he's a 50-year-old man. He knows where I'm at. Just fucking blow me off. I'm not allowed to be in my home comedy club around my friends. I'm not allowed to hang out. Like, I have to leave because your highness doesn't feel comfortable with me there. What am I going to do?
He's afraid. I think his ego, and again, it's not a Bert centric thing. These are other comics who do this, and they're afraid of that possibility of going back down. They're afraid of going down a Chris D'Elia road where you get canceled, you say the wrong thing, and you're going to have to figure out your career because you've built this brand up for yourself to the point where Bert's now a household name. Like, as far as if you're I should say a comedy fan. Like, I'm not saying like some grandmother doesn't know who Bert Kreischer is, but
my aunt Janet doesn't know who the fuck he is. And
exactly.
And honestly, if you ask a lot of people, they don't know. He has like his fans for sure, but yeah,
and,
you're right.
And his fans are rabid fans. There are people who love going to see him, and they'll take their shirts off with him too, and want to do shots and everything. And
some of his fans are my fans just from opening from him. I still have people that says, I remember seeing you and Bert in Nashville. It was amazing. So,
so it sucks that we're at that point that he couldn't deal with this like a man. I mean, ultimately, if he wanted to deal with it like a man, he should have. And I'm not saying I would want you to get punched or anything, but if that's what a man does in the Pat Dixon thing. Pat said, "You pissed me off, Geno. I'm going into Sullivan's. I know where you're going to be at 3:30 or whatever after your show, and I'm going to punch you in the face." That's what he did, and then he left. And even though I'm wearing my I-enabled Geno shirt right now,
I have to pull this up because Oh, I can't get volume. Fuck. So this guy, this Stevie Lou dude.
Oh, are you fighting with Stevie Lou now?
No, he's fighting with me. Like he's a psycho. He's a terrible comic. I've seen his comedy online. He's not good. So he's trying to desperately make a name for himself coming after me and Pat Dixon. So anyways, this is what happens. Kevin Brennan and Bob Levy are co-hosting for Anthony because he's in South Carolina. Stevie Lou goes and fetches Kevin a beer. He's not even the guest. And he comes in, puts the beer. He thinks he can slide down, sit down right now. And then he starts talking shit. And they bounce him for Mario Bosco because Mario was booked as the guest. So he was getting comfortable. Like, I'm going to talk some shit. And they're like, oh, Mario's here. You got to go.
That's hilarious.
That's where he's at in his level. He gets bounced from Mario Bosco and he has to fetch Kevin Brennan beers. So this guy's talking all this shit. And by the way, he's really bad at it. Joe Exotic called in to Chrissy Mayer show or something, and he wouldn't let Joe talk because he was so uncomfortable. This guy's really, I just like watching this guy now because he's such a fucking train wreck and he thinks he's doing stuff. He thinks he's moving the needle, and I'm just laughing at him.
He tried trolling me, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I've been in radio for a long time. I'm an original troll. You can't fucking troll me.
Yeah.
And and by the way, we dropped the ball. I told you we should have had Mario Bosco on, and they beat us.
See, now, so he's coming after me and Pat Dixon because he's trying to make a name for himself. And then they tell him to leave because Mario Bosco, because that's where he is. He was a whack packer on a compound media show that got canceled. And he can't even fucking sit at the desk because Mario Bosco. That's where you're at, dude. That's where you're at. So you can't talk anymore. Just shut up. Stop.
Oh, you fucking chooch, you fucking piece of shit. Fuck you.
You embarrass yourself. They made you leave because of Mario Bosco. They're like, all right, get out. Bye. Go get me another beer, bitch. It's embarrassing. It's just like, he's coming after me and Pat Dixon. Dude, Pat Dixon's he's done some shit in his business. You know, he had a half-hour Comedy Central. He's been around. He was a regular on Bob and Tom. See, you're not even in the same ballpark as us, dude. Just shut up. Shut up. And you're trying desperately to make a name saying, my mom was a whore and I'm glad she's dead and just stuff like that. Like, it's just, I don't even know you. I don't know you. And it's just embarrassing.
There's a lot of people who are not very talented in the sphere.
And not smart.
They're talented.
And not smart. Not smart guy at all.
I haven't heard much from the guy who wears the pink mask on his face. So yeah, it seems like he's been, that's what happens with all these people is that they start to go away. You know, they try to get their time in the sun. And when they have their opportunity, they self-sabotage themselves. They fuck it up. Yeah, no, it's not, it's just this whole universe is retarded.
And people are saying I'm fucking up by going after Bert. I'm like, nah, I'm not fucking it up. I don't kiss ass. I'm not going to kiss his. I'm not going to take slaps to the face like he did with Jay Moore. I'm going to call him out. I don't want anything from him. I don't care. I will never be friends. So I would like to be civil because I don't fucking hate the guy.
No, and you're also not a confrontational guy in that you're not getting into fights all the time. I mean, Kevin got into a couple of his skirmishes, the one with Gary Gulman in the bathroom and stuff. And obviously Gino's been getting into his share of stuff, but you've never really been like, you won't hold back from a fight, but you're also not one that, when there's been stuff after shows that there's not a lot of, but it's been happening, a couple of more times. Like you had that one where somebody punched you after, what was it, a Holocaust joke or whatever?
Yeah, it was over in Treasure Island and that happened. And, but the thing is I'm not a pussy. I'm not going to run away like Bert does, but I'm also not going to back down. And I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not impressed with your act. I don't care about celebrity. So I'm not going to bow down because it's just, to me, you're just another comic. I don't look at him with the same, revere I would have for a Dave Attell or somebody I looked up to. I just don't.
Yeah, that's, there's a lot of people it's funny because I kind of look at that with sports too. And we'll probably have to do a football podcast this week, thinking about it. Is that when you go into locker rooms, you start to either get to know athletes or you cover them and you see how that, using the expression again, how the sausage is made, you start not liking it. And I have a lot of friends who work blue collar jobs and they have like Cleveland Browns season tickets. They can't wait for the first game. And and they're like, well, what's your favorite team? I'm like, I don't have one. I don't care that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for God's sake, the baseball team where I live is now called the Guardians. Oh, well, they're in first place. I haven't watched one game this season on TV willingly.
Right.
I went to one game because I had a free ticket for it. What about the Deshaun? I don't really care that much about Deshaun Watson. And okay, man, the Cavs, they have a young team. Sure. Again, the only times I watched were games I attended last year. So, and it's the same thing in comedy, is that I used to be such a massive comedy fan before I got into it. And then you start to get to know people and you have your experiences, whether you got to pick them up from the airport or they were asked to you at the show, or they ask you to say a certain thing to go up on stage, or, I'm just like, God, I don't like this as much as I thought I would. But you're too far into it, and this is your career, it's your bread and butter. And you hate working. That was the thing with radio, is working in radio. I started to really dislike the business. I disliked everybody who was in charge of it. I disliked my coworkers, and I disliked our message that we were going with. What's our mission statement?
Hide me 10 years ago.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly. We're just, it's like, you're my older brother right now. We're just
everything you said.
Shit.
There's nobody in the world that I can connect with right now. And everything you said is exactly 100% everything I said at one point. And I still say, 10 years later, I still don't like those people.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to this, guys, ladies and gentlemen, at the Funny Stop next week, 4 shows, August 25th and 27th. I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Oh, so we're doing the Thursday night show too?
Actually, we're not. They fucked that up. Bill Stone fucked up the flyer. But
that's right. It's the Crowdwork show that night.
Yeah. So I'm getting in Thursday, but I'm not going to be there. 4 shows, me and Tony, the great Bill Stone. If you need tickets, go 330-923-4700 or funnystop.com. I really want to get some people out there because honestly, I don't live there anymore. So I don't perform. I'm going to be once a year. That's where we're at. Once a year. Maybe if I come home for like a Christmas, maybe I'll throw a one-nighter together, but that's where it's at. So get your tickets, son. I'm going to put this one out for free, by the way.
Come out and see us. Absolutely. Yeah. Going back to the Funny Stuff, because I really haven't been there in a while. So I haven't seen Pete since I got let go at my radio station. And apparently he thinks I'm losing my mind, which, yeah. I mean,
me and Florence,
be honest here.
I don't FaceTime with anybody because I think it's gay. But me and Florentine FaceTime with Pete at Jim's house. And he was, oh my God, he turned it up. He was calling out everybody.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. He's putting on a show. Like he was driving his kid to practice. And he was just calling out motherfucker, fuck him. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Joe Howard. Fuck the Gino racist. And
Gino, he confirmed Gino's banned from the club. He's a racist. He made his server uncomfortable. And we were like, he doesn't. I don't think he knew who Pat Dixon was. We're like, yeah, he punched Gino in the face. He's like, good. So I was going to punch him that weekend anyway. He's like, him and Anthony Cumia, they're racist.
They raised. Actually, Pat Dixon was there that weekend at the Comedians of the Compound, and
he didn't put 2 and 2 together, I guess.
They did 5 shows, and Pat did 5 different sets, 5 completely different sets that whole weekend. So when you have the Compound fans who go for it, why are you buying tickets for a full weekend?
I never understood that.
Comics don't have that much material to turn around. Where, hey, good to be here. Oh, great. It's the same fucking people I've seen at all 4 of the previous shows. What am I going to do next that you haven't laughed at?
Yeah, and they all look like that Stevie Lou dude. The whole audience. Missing teeth, going bald. Bloodshot eyes, black eyes.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, man. But
So Gino's banned from the club. We got a clip that gets clipped out there.
Yeah, I'm sure Bex will.
I did enable Gino. That was the weekend where he was so drunk on stage that Speech Impediment Man had the only funny line during his set.
Yeah. I really am Gino'd and Pat Dixon out. I could give a fuck. I really could. I'm just like, it's like they're all him, Kevin, they're all milking it for everything. Chrissy jumped in. She made her way in on it for some reason.
Well, did you listen to the show? And Pat was talking about how when they were dating that Chrissy was cheating on him with a personal trainer.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised if she's fucking Kumia.
I mean, you never know. You never know what goes on at that network. Who's, I don't want to give secrets away.
By the way, I was right there. I was at Madison Square Garden. I could have easily went over there and said hi to everybody, but they've been so shitty to me. I was just like, fuck it. And it was fine.
Yeah, right off 35th and 7th, right over by Sullivan's. Good seeing the scene of the crime.
Don't miss New York at all. I like landed LaGuardia, took a $50 cab ride, and I was just like, I'm good. I mean, we were at Point Pleasant, Uncle Vinny's this weekend, which was great. And we filmed some more of those waiter sketches, Florentine's waiter sketches with Natalie Cuomo, who's a New York comic, and she's really cool. And we hit it off. And
she's another Louis J. Gomez ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
Like Karen Feehan and everybody else.
Everybody else. I mean, he's just like going through the comics. I can't date a female comic, man. Because comics in general are crazy. And then you take a female, then you make her a comedian. That's another level of crazy. I'm not saying, anyone's crazy, but there are comics that are fucking nuts, female comics.
Like you have to basically be a garbage man to date a female comic.
And why would any female want to be a comic for this? You're already getting attention because you're, a good looking female. Like, why do you have to get on stage?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is, you're a quirky girl. You're really quirky. You're silly. Okay. Well, that's the equivalent of he's the funny guy at the office. He tells a funny joke when he's at the water cooler. No, that's okay. No, the reason why we do comedy is because it's therapy for us, because we're fucked up people.
No shit.
And by the way, my weekend binging, I feel like so I'm stopping drinking on my podcast now. I'm no more drinking because I don't like what alcohol's doing to me now. I'm just being obnoxious now.
Opening up the floodgates of things that you probably wouldn't have said. The
puns won't stop. I mean, it's constant. Like anytime, like, oh, boy, what do you think about this monkeypox? Yeah, everybody's going bananas. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm turning into Brian McCarthy right now.
God, I haven't heard that name forever. Brian P. McCarthy.
Dislabeled. No, it's like I don't like when I listen back on my podcast where I'm having a couple of beverages. I'm just like, I don't mind one, but I can't have more than a couple. And same with going on stage. I just turn into like a retard. And I would prefer that. Like I'm already a retard, but I want it to be controlled retardation.
Organically retarded.
That's right.
Cut that part out. Cut that part out, everybody. Sign up to our Patreons, guys. We're putting this one out for free to give you a little taste of what we do.
Yes, indeed.
We are canceled comics, canceled radio guys. We have enemies. We tend to not say the most popular thing. People pass judgment. We go against the grain. Sometimes it's uncomfortable. And when things get uncomfortable, people pander, people lie. We just stay the course because eventually you'll get through the turbulence. And that's what you get with Mondays with MAZUR.
That's why we wear the captain's hats too. This is somebody when they're steering the ship, they need somebody who's going to be an experienced pilot and captain.
I always thought that was hilarious. Opie steers the ship. I always just thought it was so funny. Well,
it's insulting. I mean, again, it's like getting back to Bert. You're hitting a nerve with somebody when you say that Opie's a board op. You say your name is on the marquee, but no one's listening to your show for you. And you just go, God damn, that's got to really sting. Where anytime anyone would criticize Opie and Anthony, they call Opie, it's, oh, was he just a board op? They go, oh, God, for somebody like Opie, you're like, I slaved away. I made millions in this business. I'm a household name, and yet I'm a board op. That's just, it's just a kick in the balls for somebody like that.
It's unbelievable.
More ego.
It's that business, as you know, especially giving props to O&A. I mean, they did it. They were in the heart of it when radio meant something, and they made cash. They made a lot of money, and definitely made a name for themselves, and they're living off that because neither one of them has been employed ever since.
No. What Opie ultimately he should have done was spin records. He should have did the Opie show on WYSP or WIP in Philadelphia. He's got his family there. He can intro records again, make a decent salary, not a great one, but you're Opie. So you get Steven Singer Jewelers, you get some ads and everything. And I don't know if his ego wanted him to, because doing local radio is, again, a step back. Just like with Bert, you don't want to go back and doing, half-filled clubs anymore because that's a step back in your career. So you notice when you talk about ego, you get to a level and they are deathly afraid of giving that up.
So now he's doing iPhone lives, and that's taking a real step back.
But in his mind, he feels that I was a syndicated radio personality. I can't do morning radio again. I can't be the local yokel DJ on this. That's, I would rather do tech stuff and Facebook and Instagram Live. You go, no, you should probably take in the radio job at this point. You're a 60-year-old man with 2 kids. You should probably have done that before you got ultimately canceled for filming Roland taking a shit or something.
I heard the whole story. Roland told me the whole story before. My favorite is when, did I ever tell you this? When Jim and Sam took over mornings, and because Opie was dilly-dallying playing radio guy, like contract negotiation.
Oh yeah. So have you been down those roads before?
Oh yeah. And he overshot his importance to Sirius XM, and he ended up getting lowballed. Like, probably, I don't know, it's probably less than what he was making. They originally offered him, and he was in the Sirius XM glass window, like with the heads, and the contract was in front of him. They got up and left, and he just stood there, like sat there for like 20 minutes, just looking like ahead, looking like straight ahead, like what the fuck? And all of a sudden he just starts losing his shit, and they're watching him in the window do it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
One of the funniest stories ever. He's like, because he realized he fucked himself.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, then Opie's mind starts racing, like, oh, fucking Jim, fucking Sam, they backstabbed me and all this. And
then you got to start justifying it. Go, no, bro. No, dude, this is what I really wanted. I don't have to wake up anymore. I could do afternoon drive with my pals, Carl and Vic Henley.
Now they're all dead. Your show's dead. I don't even hate Opie. I think he's kind of a douche, but I don't know.
Who haven't we pissed off in this podcast?
I think we left Alan Cox alone.
And Bill Squire and
unbelievable.
Jeff Blanchard.
I like Jeff Blanchard.
I do too. I like him. He's I
like how
is he still stocking?
Yeah, I like how he bags my groceries. So stupid.
I'm telling you, we need to get Mario Bosco on the show. I'm going to reach out. I'll just have him on my podcast then.
Oh, I'll do a Bart Mario. If you want to set it up, just say, hey, you want to do it over Zoom? Fucking Mario Bosco.
I like how that's their guest with Levy and Kevin. It's like their big guest was Mario Bosco.
Like, he's a nice enough guy, but he's so annoying in real life.
Where was Barry Ribs that day?
Just so annoying. Like, he came, Florentine and I were up in Fort Myers at that club, that Nabul, that fucking guy who took my week away. And he was doing a guest set, and Mario was, and he was just so annoying. The name dropping and take a photo. It was just, oh, dude.
Is it true he charges for photos?
I don't know. I know more about Mario Bosco than I should, because I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking into him. Like, okay, let's get to know this guy a little bit more. I don't follow him. Well, I do follow him because he asked me to. And I said, all right.
I don't know why the whole concept of Mario Bosco makes me just barrel over in laughter.
He's visually hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just, he's the ultimate whack packer. In the sense of, that's one thing I liked about like Kevin's roast. It was just a bunch of fucking Barry Ribs. Carrie,
I heard Taffy Jaffe died.
Yeah, she's been dead for a while.
Oh, really? I just only heard recently that Taffy Jaffe died.
Yeah, she's dead.
Mike Bichetti.
It's just,
I guess Mike is having some more medical issues too. So
Again, I get all this from you. I don't know.
you got your Compound Media update here. Let's see, Mario Bosco and is the comics gym going away? Is that what's going on now too?
I don't know.
The Nick DiPaolo network, and I guess Florentine was going to do some stuff over there, and that's Tommy's thing.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
That's the second half of this podcast. Is just, we went from talking about Bert, and then now we're just talking about just random stuff that we probably should have ended this like 10 minutes ago. But as soon as I start talking about Mario Bosco, it's just
floodgates open.
Absolutely, the gloves are off.
Yeah. Well, I know Artie completed that jug program, and he's doing Cameo right now.
Oh, he's doing cameos now. Okay.
Yeah. So I do know that. But that's all I know.
I want to see how much is an Artie Lang. It's got to be like $500, right? I'm pulling it up right now.
I thought for sure you'd get his nose fixed.
Are you on Cameo?
I am. I've only done one of them.
Let's see. Artie, it says, 24-hour delivery. I mean, he looks like he could be handsome if he had a better nose, but notify me when available. So it doesn't have a price right now.
I would love to get the true story of what really happened to that nose. Maybe he'll like one day come clean.
Pat Dixon had a little problem with him.
$150. So
how much is yours? Let's promote your Cameo.
Does anybody do cameos anymore? I like that was a thing during the pandemic.
That was a total pandemic thing.
Yeah, that's the reason why I did it. I was just like, I got money. I put mine at 35, which is, probably too expensive, but I don't really want to do them. But
how much Geno's is?
I did do another one, but it wasn't on Cameo, and the guy paid me $50. So I felt like I put music in it. I went like way beyond the Call of Duty.
$55 for Geno.
Just go to Sullivan's and take a photo.
It's just him.
Who's paying for a fucking Geno cameo? Probably that Stevie Lou. Anyways, guys.
You get Stevie Lou on Cameo.
Nobody knows who he is. And he's trying so hard to make a name for himself and failing miserably.
This guy gets it.
This guy gets it. Tony Mazur gets it. I get it. Mondays with Mazur, everybody.
Next week at the Funny Stop again.
Yeah, next week we'll promote it some more. But this one's, I feel charitable. I want to do something nice. I want to put it out for free.
Let's do it.
Have fun. Enjoy it. You got it. Brody Stevens. And that's the podcast. 5-star review on the iTunes. Hit subscribe on the old YouTube channel. And fuck Bert. Good night.